Thought I'd have a go on the disco today. Enjoy it. Alright Richard, what have you been up to? Well, I'll tell you what I've been up to. I've taken the dash out. Richard, why have you taken the dash out? Well, I'll tell you why I take the dash out. Is because it was all cracked and knackered and the top had delaminated and someone had used tape or something on it. There's a big old shadow of me there. But you can see all along this edges, someone's attempted to glue it back down again and they've failed, and all they've actually done is just make it look even worse than it had done if it was just a gaping great big gap. So I thought, I've had enough of this shit. And then on top of all of that, it had a big old lump taken out up there. It's had all this stick-on plastic stuck all over the place. So I thought, do you know what, I'm going to get rid of that. I do need to take the VIN number off it. And I found another one. Oh, you beauty. Now, this one is complete with all of the loom and everything intact already, and it's in fairly good order. It has started to lift along the windscreen edge. They all do it sooner or later, but I got these. So these are a little glass fibre trim panel that I shall screw down and hold the top trim down and in place. Now I could have done this with that one. It's a bit difficult getting access to it because of the windscreen, so I probably would have had to remove the dash in order to get it done. But that'll look quite smart. And then this can all go in, and the only observation I've had really while I've been taking all this apart is the sheer abundance of mouse shit behind this dash. There's tons of it, absolutely tons, and all under here where you can see where the little bastards have been nibbling away at the trim. Yeah, this thing has had an infestation at some point of mice. I don't think there's any in it anymore. Well, I certainly haven't seen them running across the top of the dash or anything like that. But yeah, God help, it's disgusting things. It doesn't smell too bad in there. Actually, it doesn't smell at all, which is good. It's a good thing. So I am going to fit these chappies on. Now, as far as I can see, all I really need to do is to drill holes and then put self-tappers down through. I want to find out if I've got a decent size self-tapper. I think these are going to be too big. The heads of these are going to be too big. They are, really. But they are black. And they will then screw down and through the plastic and the metal frame beneath. So they'll screw into this base, basically. Basic base. They'll screw into the basically, essentially. Now, the nice thing about this, like I say, came with all the loom. So all I had to really do, apart from a load of screws and fixings, so you got two fixings there, two fixings there, two fixings there, two fixings there, and I don't need that bracket, so I can take those fixings off. Two fixings up here, and then all the fixings that go in behind the radio surround. And it comes off. I have done a video on taking a soft dash out of a Range Rover. Look at episode 1 of the Royal Range Rover in the playlist, and you'll see how to get the dash out. They're not horrific to come out. They really are not. The only thing I'm missing on this, and I'll have to get one, is the mat that goes in the in behind the fuck handle. But other than that, it's good. I've given it a little bit of a wipe over. It's not the best kind of colour in the world, really, is it? Beige. But oh, there's a nice cup of coffee there. No, it's not coffee, it's tea. Ah. So yeah, just comparing like for like. I'll get the VIN plate moved across because that needs to be there. I'll drill the heads off the security fixings there, and I'll just glue them back in place again once it's back on. I don't know why you would have a VIN plate on a removable component. I really don't. I mean, the VIN's also on the dash, so on the slam cover, and then it's also on the chassis. It's just stupid modern rules for where you're going to put the VIN number. And then I spoke to Steve the body. He's going to paint the bonnet and the roof. I've got to do the prep. And then I picked up another pair of wings. So courtesy of Steve, that's the box the dash came in. Nice chap, been over, dropped off tons of parts for me. And I'm really, really, really grateful. So I've got a set of alloy wheels for Disco 1. I don't know whether these are 2 or 300 series. They're not all as nice as that one. Some of them are, they need work, and the tyres are all shot. And then in here, oh, a couple of wings. Couple of nice Disco 1 MPI 2 litre Discovery 2 litre power front wings. So I'll get those painted and put on because they're going to be less mangled up than the ones that are on the car. And these ones, I mean, these need painting. The lacquer's lifted on them. The fixings at the back are bent. You can see that wing's all bent down at the bottom edge there. The other one's even worse. Hulking great dent right here. So I'm going to get both those wings changed over, painted, and it will look a shitload better. Before you know it, I'm going to end up painting the whole damn thing, aren't I? Right, okay, so hoovering all the mouse shit out, and then I can get on with putting this back together. I ended up transferring the loom across from the old dash to the new dash. It's only a couple of zip ties, easy enough to lob in. And the reason I did that really was because I knew it works. Knew it works? No, it works. The other thing I've done is I've reinforced these plates on the front edge here. So these can get quite floppy when either the fixings for the glove box or the panel that goes underneath the driver's footwell are missing. So all I've done there is use penny washers underneath those. It's a known weak spot. Other than that, we're ready to go back in. Dash is back in. I've got it held up with 2 bolts on that side, resting on top of the steering column on this side, roughly in location. And the trick now is to go through connecting all of the connectors up. The main connectors into the loom, that is. I'm not worried about the connectors to the back of the instrument pod or to the switches or anything like that. They can all wait. But once I know that the main connectors to the dash are in, so for instance they do not want to be down there, those 2 naughty little chappies there, well, now's the right time to notice shit like that, and I can pull the dash forwards and relocate those, and then I can start putting all the bolts and nuts back in, I think. What do you reckon? I reckon looking good. Nice to have a dash back in it. It's only been out since this morning, I know. It's not going nuts, Richard, eh? Right, we're rapidly approaching beer o'clock on a Friday. Bulk of the dash is back in again. There's a lot of broken plastics around that centre section there, so I'm going to find a better one. Pretty much every single plastic lug on it is broken in one way or another. Now, I am more or less there. I just want to snip a couple of these zip ties, and I'm there as far as I should be able to check the electrics, make sure we can actually start. Now, what's happened to me cutters? They've been taken up. Absolutely taken up. Right, back in a second. Right, battery's on. Oh, indicators are working. In park. That's working. Does the blower work? Yeah. A lot of dust. Monkey spunk coming out. Right, okay, that's acceptable, I think. Do the lights work? Yeah, that'll do then. Right, let's get steering wheel back on. And I think the key thing here is that we have got to replace this centre section. There's just too many broken plastics in there. But that's easily achievable. I could put the centre console back in, but I'm going to vacuum all of this fucking mouse detritus out first of all. Right, home straight. There you go, all back in again. And looking good, apart from the centre console section, which we know about. See, yeah, I'm quite pleased with that. It looks a lot better. Makes me feel a bit more comfortable about the inside of my car. Now, other things I need to do. Seat trim, passenger seat torn. I've got the tread plate for this side. I need to clean the carpets. I've even put, look, I put the plastic sill covers back on both sides. Again, it just improves the overall look of the poor old thing. Needs a wash really. This is what I mean about the seat cover. It's split between the centre section and the side sections. Now it's entirely possible that if I took the cover apart I could probably glue it all back together again. I don't know. This thing up here, I tried to repair it, ended up making a right balls of it, gave up with it, lobbed it back in. Can't be arsed looking for another one. So it's the 300 TDI setup needed there. But like I say, other than that, that's an improvement. We've fixed something. Tales, Disco Fever, Tales of the whatever. That's silly, Richard. Anyway, I've acquired another bumper. It's in far better shape than the torn up, bent, twisted, cut off bumper that I've got already. It's got a pair of decent end caps on it. It's got the spoiler underneath, although it is missing this piece around the front spotlight aperture, but I can live with that for the time being. And it's got both intact headlight washers. And on the other side, very good, yes. Right, now, I shall give it a wax before it all goes together. And that thing is more or less, apart from the number plate, to be scrap. I've taken off, because it had a pair of very original, very tidy looking, Land Rover branded wide pack spot lamps for the front, which work. Things of beauty. So I've taken those off. The brackets that support those, one is incredibly rusty, one is not. So I'm going to treat the rust, put them back on again, paint them with a chassis paint to give them some longevity, and lob it back on again. The object is not a restoration here, the object is to make it look a little bit better. The other thing I picked up, same chap. Yes, I shall pop that in. Now there is one issue that I've identified, and the reason why this thing is probably all smashed to pieces in the first place. You 2-door or 3-door Disco 1 owners, 300 series 1 owners will realise this, that when the armrest is down and you open the seat, I'm not going to open it with any force of aggression, but look what happens. Both. Put your armrest up before you push the seat forwards, and then nothing happens. It's well clear. Things I'm discovering, eh? Well, that looks a bit different. What have you done, Richard? I've taken that shitty old bumper off. That's what I've done. There it is. It's been chopped around a little bit. Might be able to salvage some bits off it, I don't know. Anyway, the bumper blade itself is fine. I've got a spare washer. The corner bumpers are crap. And I've got this one, which is going to go back on. So I've cleaned up and painted all of the brackets for the front spotlights. They're Land Rover, proper original Land Rover spotlights. I've got the pipework ready for the headlight wash. Took the 4 bolts out. Just going to clean out the front edge of the chassis rails. And then I can spray some wax in there and put this back together. Oh yeah. That does look approximately 2 shitloads better. In fact, I can just see I've left my torch under there. I was getting an annoying squeak while I was driving along. And when you get a squeak and it's not suspension, the chances are it's going to be the prop shaft, one of the universal joints. So you can see that one there, all I've done is lubed it up. This one here was shot. Actually, it wasn't horrific, but let's go and show you the bit I took off. So there's the remnants of it. And you can see on here, when you look around the yoke, you can see the discoloration on here. So it's been running dry, and also there's little lumps taken out of it. So there's just enough wear in there, which I could just about feel, only just. You see on this end as well, they've got discoloration over here, polished. So barely perceptible click in there, but it was going squeak, squeak, squeak like there was a mouse stuck in the engine bay, driving up the bloody wall. And of course, now we are in the throes of spring, long may it last, I got the window open. And so then driving along listening to it squeaking was just doing my head in. Right, now I'm just going to pop this back on again. There's nothing particularly nasty about putting these back on. It's down there somewhere. Now I've got a new camera as well, which is good. This one's a DJI Osmo Action Pro 4, I think. Shooting in 4K, 60 frames per whatever it is. And we'll see how good this comes out. It's quite a wide angle, isn't it? It's a nice camera. I've got rock steady on this as well. So it's a significant upgrade over the other one, which I've been running with for about the last 4 and a bit years, nearly 5 years. So yeah, right, I'm going to pop this back on again and have a nice coffee, and then I shall report back on whether the squeak has gone. Alas, the squeak is still there. Right, suspension next. I'm not doing that today though. Too nice a day for that. But the prop shaft was worn, so it needed to come off and have that UJ replaced. You've seen it was kind of on its way out, but wasn't the root cause for the squeak. Can we make it squeak? The suspension's too tough, unfortunately, on these. It's difficult to. It's my bloody shoulder clicking then. Right, let's take you out and I'll show you what it sounds like when it squeaks. And you're going to say, oh crikey, it's a Land Rover, what are you expecting? Oh. Right. Right, are we ready? Here. Isn't it? Now, one thing I've not done with this is I've not polybushed. Oi! One thing I've not done with this is polybush the front end up. Boy, he was giving it some wheels down there, wasn't he? Hey! I've not polybushed the front end. It could actually just be a dry suspension joint. And that is part of the front end kind of overhaul I need to do. I also need to replace the sweep seals on the swivels because they're fucked and the oil's leaking out almost as fast as it goes in. It's a Land Rover. Right, well, spring's arrived. I was going to go outside and do a bit of filming, show you where I was up to, but ain't happening. Oh, it got worse. It got a lot worse. Good grief. Well, the storm came back with a vengeance. More or less past now. But yeah, the drain wasn't able to keep up with the deluge of hail. It came from over there. Oh, there's another one coming in by the looks of things, but that's what effectively just hit us. And you can see this is. Wonder what the swimming pool looks like. Yes, I've got a barge in my swimming pool. Look, swimming pool's right the way up to here. It's the deepest it's been. I just wasn't able to get rid of the moisture quickly enough. You can see there's just a river running down from the road. I expect my shed's flooded too. That's just next door's yard's flooded. There's a sun up there peeking through. Today's job on the old disco. Right, okay, I've been thinking about, I need to check the level of the fluid in the automatic gearbox because I kind of haven't done it since I got it, but then it's not been misbehaving, so I haven't worried about it. But I thought, well, time we got on with that. Now, the dipstick should come up here, and if you go, if I feed you down into the bowels of the engine bay, you can see the tip of the dipstick down here. Someone snapped it off, I think. Or it's a very short dipstick. So then I bought what's probably going to be a more useful dipstick. So this has come from a 300 TDI automatic Range Rover, and it will fit. Come off a softdash, it will work beautifully. The problems you face are the bolt that holds the dipstick into place goes in from the gearbox side, and you've got to get underneath in order to undo that. And then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to drain the fluid off through the sump plug, measure how much fluid I've drained off, and that gives me a start point for how much needs to go back in. I know the system takes 9 point whatever litres, but that includes the torque converter, and we don't have that. The torque converter is not going to empty. I'm going to disconnect this pipe, I'm going to drop the new pipe straight in. So all I need to do is empty the sump on the gearbox, and we should be okay. So wish me luck. Right, this is the pipe I took off. You can see it's got a nice blue bung in the end of it, but it's not a clean cut. So I think some ham-fisted gibbon's been in there. I've broken the end off that, and then wedged a bung in it. So I don't think that's good for anything. It's in there for a week if anyone wants it. Now, new dipstick has gone on. That looks better, gives me some chance of actually filling it up. Drain plug, when I pulled it out, had the very, very, very finest wisp of metal on it. I shall monitor the situation. Fluid came out, it was reasonably red, doesn't smell burnt. So, right, I'm going to measure that amount of fluid and I'm going to tip it back in through the dipstick, which I've recently fitted. Right, there you go, a smeg over 4 litres come out. So a smeg over 4 litres is going to go back in. Dextron 2, D2, I think it's D2D, goes back in here. Can't see any particular issues with that. I'll lob some in there, I'll get it off the axle stand, and we will see if it works. All done. So I put almost exactly the same amount of fluid back in. 4.1, 4.2 litres came out, I put 4 litres back in, and it was overfilled. So it was overfilled by about 400 mils. So it actually needed 3.6 litres to go back into the box to bring it back up to the same level. But then it's understandable someone overfilled it because it didn't have a dipstick to work with. Luckily I've got a dipstick. Anyway, I'm happy enough with that now, which is good. Please, one job done. Yay, disco day, middle of August, and I thought, you know what, before we get towards the next MOT, let's start doing some of these issues. So I've got a number of issues I need to resolve. I need to replace the bushes on the front suspension. I need to sort the brake master cylinder out because it has got a very, very, very slight weep. I thought it did before, but it's still got, I mean, this is all dry down here, but I don't trust it. So I've got another master cylinder. That'll go on. There is a tick, the ubiquitous tick that comes from the 200 and the 300 TDI engines. Normally under load, typically head gasket, so I need to investigate that. And yeah, so today really is about getting these bushes changed over, because it's a nice day and there's no projects in the workshop apart from the 2-door, and I'm waiting for an overdrive to turn up for this. More on that in another episode of another series. So here's the driver's side hockey stick off. Now we can see on this is very clearly a worn out bush. It looks like it's separated at the top end there and the bottom end down here. These are probably original. They've put up with a lot of strain, possibly from oversized tyres. Almost certainly where the squeak's coming from, I hope. And on this end, well, they're oval. It really doesn't help, does it? So yeah, they're worn out. So I'm going to clean everything up, and I'm going to put the polybushes on that I bought about 1,000 years ago, probably just over a year ago now. I bought these, and these are the original polybush items for this car. And I've also got a bolt kit which I buy from Famous 4. I'm probably not going to need the bolt kit. I'll need the nylocks, but not the bolts, because the bolts have all come out so far really easily. Really, really easily, which is quite refreshing for a 30-year-old Land Rover. Yeah, steering arm was all kind of new before the MOT, and the steering damper was okay too. So yeah, it's just a case of getting it all apart and drilling those bushes out. And I don't need to video all this stuff. This is just a progress video of where I am with this car. All of that's split there as well. Of where I am with this particular car, because it is my daily driver, and it does have somewhat of a snotter kind of appeal to it. That might need some copper grease on it. It's looking pretty desperate, isn't it? Yeah, so I'm not going to video most of this. You've seen me take bushes out before for now, and you've seen me tease a bush before for now. That's got to go on the gate, by the way. There it is, sneak preview. But yes, I'll get the headphones on, I'll get the music on. I'm just going to get these out and put them back. I think that's going to be okay. It's just very, there's like a millimetre taken out or so in that gap there. But that's just purely because I think it's been on there forever. And these are probably original to the car. And very oval. Right, it's not a round bush. I mean, look at the thickness on that side compared to the thickness on that side. You with me? You with me? That one's not so bad. But on that side it's very oval. So yeah, we're going to tighten this thing up quite a lot. It didn't actually feel that bad before. It just had that irritating squeak. I thought, you know what, I'm just going to get it done. Well, there's the old bushes. They came out quite easily, in fact. So while I think everything in here is original, the difference between taking apart a 1993 Range Rover and taking apart a 1995 Discovery is radically different. So I popped the driver's side hockey stick back on. That's all back in place. All I really do, let me just show you on this side, it's probably going to be easier. Because they've been torqued up, you need to bang the outer face of the flange for now out. Just give it a couple of good taps. That means then you can get the end of the radius arm in. Oh look, the exhausters. I think it's blown. I just think it's the mesh has gone on it. Anyway, so just bang that out on both of those. When it comes to the left-hand one, it's actually in worse shape than the right-hand one. On this bush, I can move that around with my fingers. So I suspect, and look at the crazing on it, that those two are a little bit past it. Another oval bush, and let's see what this one looks like. I can go on the floor. Let's take this one off. Is it going to come off? It's going to come off in the end. There we are, come off in the end. Yeah, that's not as badly worn as the one on the other side, but you look at the thickness here and the thickness there. Yeah, the bushing's worn. For now, where did that go? That went there. That can go in the bin. Right, I shall drill these two chappies out. All I do here, by the way, it looks like it's worn out there, but what it's actually done is the rust has blown there. So if I give that a tap, then the whole thing goes pretty much the same width along. And I wasn't thinking about it a little bit earlier on in the video, but yeah, of course that's just blown rust. Because as metal rusts, it expands. So give it a tap, that bit comes off, and lunchtime. All back together. Happy enough with that. Was able to reuse the old bolts, which is good. And they get done up good and tight anyway. But the bolts were in good order. Now, I'm just taking off the panhard rod, and I've spotted a slight issue. And I wish I spotted it when I'd taken this arm off, because the bolt's in back to fucking front. So I can bang the bolt out so far, but I can't get it all the way out because it's in the wrong way round. Which muppet did that? So I'm going to have to chop the head off the bolt and then bang it through. That's a bit irritating. I mean, I do buy new bolt kits anyway, and for the Discovery, the late Discovery, and the Range Rover softdash, there we are. That's the famous 4-part number. Yeah, Don't quite know where to go with that. So I'm going to drive it out as far as it will go, and then chop the bolt off flush, and then bang the rest of the stub through, and we are where we are, I think. I don't think there's an awful lot really more I can do about that, is there? It is just a ball's ache. Let me stretch it out, it's be a lot easier. Right, I'll go crack on with that. And I've got reciprocating saw here anyway, which is very useful, and that'll get in there and chop that off. And then new bolts. Well, that's a shame, because if I'd have realised it was the wrong way around when I did the radius arm, then I would have had all the room I needed to get that bolt out and not put it back in that way round. Silly arse. What a silly arse. Never mind. Right, Mr. Panhard is off, and the bush on these, yeah, they're in a similar state of dereliction. I've cleaned this off to start off with, purely because it was as greasy as hell, because I'm running a 300 TDI that leaks at the front end. But it's another job I need to do. Yeah, they're pretty abysmal, aren't they? So I'm going to get those out, and once they're out, I can push the new polybushes in, reinstate that, get the car back down on the ground again, and then I think see if it squeaks still, or we've eradicated the mouse. Yeah, you knew the joke was there, didn't you? You knew it. Right, there's Ben moving a dinosaur over there, look. Right, onwards and upwards. Right, let's see if we fix Mr. Squeaky. If we clear up and go up there. Nice tidy bench, as you've noticed. Bonnets can close. I need to sort out, there's a monumental oil leak down here somewhere. Might actually be coming off the bottom of the power steering reservoir, because I can see the top hose on the power steering reservoir is damp. You can see it's all on the top of the chassis rail there as well, and we're down on fluid, so I'll sort that out when I get back. Looks like a loose hose connection there, and that wasn't very clever, Richard, was it? Hand with the just check with all the stands out from underneath. Yep. Right. And front windows open. Right, let's go and see if we've fixed this or not. Let's just adjust the camera so I can actually hold it properly. Oh no, it's still squeaking. Oh, you fucker. Nowhere near as bad. Still squeaking. Right, dampers next. Find out what's going on there. Still. It's nowhere near as bad. That's still irritating. I've done both prop shafts. I've done all of the suspension. I am wondering, I know, one of Wickham's Texas, one of Wickham's finest there. Hardly any dents on it. Yeah, I mean, it is a lot better than it was, but I'm a bit disappointed there's still a squeak there. Oh, hello. Flying the colours. Fantastic. Just feel a lot firmer at the front end. As you can hear, it's still squeaking. You squeaky little bastard, you. I mean, one thing that I probably do need to consider here, and I know that the CV joints on the front, let's turn off for a minute. The CV joints on the front are tired, certainly when you put it on a full lock. I'm getting, I can feel the clonking. Now I've checked the lubrication levels, and we're good on lubrication. It's got 1 shot in it, which is fine for me because I don't go wading, although if I'm going to strip it all down and rebuild with new seals, I'll probably refill it with oil, because in the event I do go wading, it becomes a lot easier for me to resolve. But yes, that squeaky McSqueak face still being there is somewhat less than ideal, but better than it was. Just before the end credits, give me a thumbs up if you liked that. Give me a thumbs down if you didn't. Mind you, you've got all the way to the end of it, so you probably would have given me a thumbs down by now anyway. Comments down below. All of these things do help to promote the work that I do and promote to YouTube for your benefit. If you want to contact me, churchhouseclassics, it's all one word, @gmail.com. And if you want to support the channel, then there's a PayPal me link scrolling down here. Both my email and the PayPal me link are in the description below this video. And that's my car, still sitting here. I might have to change this feature once it gets back on the road. It'll embarrass me enough into getting this back on the road. Anyway, thank you very much for watching.